What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another video. Today I'm gonna be talking about Garp and how strong he is in the overall series. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more anime content, or don't forget to like, subscribe for more One Piece content if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification because we be out here. So hit that bell notification for him. I know it's been a minute. I'm trying to get back on the regulated uploads and stuff. Like it's hard, school and stuff. School is finished though, so I can't even use that as an excuse. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Obviously, first thing, check out the second channel, because the second channel, if you're not a huge One Piece fan, which I don't know why you'd be on this video, but if you are, if there's other series you like, other anime, CA Domain, that's the second channel, obviously. We talk about all the other anime. So got a Naruto video coming soon. I dropped some Bleach videos recently. Got a Katekyo Reborn video if you into that. You know what I'm saying? You should, because that's gas. Hunter x Hunter, like all the other anime, it's right there for us. So don't hesitate to go and check that out, because it's gonna be gas. But today we talking about Garp, and I guess that leads to the question of the day, which is how strong do you think Garp is? And I think I should specify, I'm talking about old man Garp. I'm talking about the Garp that be sleeping midway in the conversations Garp, like that guy. Because I feel like I was gonna make a how strong is prime Garp video, but I think it's pretty obvious. Like he's anywhere from the second or third strongest all time, right? Because if you look at the scaling, he's like probably under Roger, or you could have him under Whitebeard or something like that. He's 1, 2, or 3. It's very obvious. It wouldn't be that long of a video. But old Garp is very interesting, because especially with the Marineford stuff, people have him very interesting. Like the ranking for him is very diverse. But yeah, obviously the Garp stuff, there's not much to take from it, because there's only the Marineford things. But if you look at the whole Marineford thing, there's some scenes you could take away from it. Like for instance, when Garp was chasing after Luffy in, I think it's Water 7. It was Water 7. He's storing the cannonballs, and I think in one of I think it's either the manga or the anime, he's like, "Dang, I can only throw half as far as I used to." And some people kind of take that as, "Oh, I'm only half as strong as I used to be," type thing. Which I never agree with, because even if his let's say his raw strength is half as strong as it used to be, which he's just talking about his throwing strength, which is not necessarily your punching strength, which is one. There's also, which we know now, Haki, the 3 Hakis, which is Garp even a conqueror? That might be a video topic, because the way Garp be acting, he not conqueror-like in that sense. But observation and armament, really just armament, because this thing of Garp does not really have observation. That nigga do not be peeping anything ahead of time. So his armament, if Garp's armament still around the level as it was in his prime, or even close, then I wouldn't say he's half as strong. But honestly, this video, the one scene I feel like people will take away from it is when he was going after Aki Inu. So let me take you back to Marineford. Close your eyes. We're gonna be on some visual stuff real quick. So this is after Ace died. Aki Inu turned Ace into a donut. Ace is my man's, but he got turned into a donut. That was kind of sad. And Garp's walking towards him, and then Sengoku slams him into the ground. He's like, "Yeah, good job, Sengoku. Hold me down, because you don't, I'ma kill Sakazuki." Which is that shit was very gas at the moment. Obviously all the One Piece fans for the most part I think were sad because of Ace's death. But looking at it, that was a really tough scene. I don't really need to break that into it, or break into that too much, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people be like, yeah, Sengoku really saved Garp from dying that day. And some people be like, nah, Garp would have put, Aki Inu on a t-shirt. So that's kind of where I'm kind of debating it. Me personally, I feel like Garp was around the Admiral's strength. I do think that he might have been weaker than the overall Admirals, honestly. I want to say that they were around tied, honestly, because I think Garp in his prime he's crazy. I don't think anyone in the verse currently can hang with prime Garp, unless we're talking about maybe Blackbeard now, maybe. Well, I'm talking about pre-time skip, of course. I don't think there's anyone in that verse that could have hung with prime Garp. But Garp not priming no more. It's been what, 20 so years? You could argue 40 years, because some people think that prime Garp was when he fought against rocks and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. But I feel like Garp and Aki Inu were at least relative. Even though Garp isn't an admiral and stuff, and we know that Aki Inu is kind of Aki Inu is one of the main admirals. The admirals are, I think even in the manga it says oh, the admirals are the 3 strongest marines. But I feel like you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because I don't know if Sengoku could have been weaker than all 3 admirals, even though he didn't really do anything. I just feel like the fleet admiral is always the strongest, and that kind of we see the answer to that in the time skip, where Aki Inu, it was him and Aokiji who it seemed like they were relative, and they had to fight it out to determine who was the number 1 guy. To me, the fleet admiral is above the rest, so that's how I viewed it. But I feel like Garp and Akinu were close. Like, Akinu has the whole offensive firepower with his fruit and stuff, and he's a conqueror. There's no way you can't say Akinu's a conqueror. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Akinu's a conqueror and stuff, but it's like, I feel like Garp could hang with him. But then again, Garp's old age. I think that in a fight, Garp's it's kind of like it'd be like a Wiper situation where, first of all, that's actually the main reason why I will always have Garp at least as strong as Akinu, probably stronger, because Garp and Whitebeard in their primes were probably around the same strength. Like I said, prime Garp is like 1, 2, or 3, whichever. The three all time, it's Roger, Whitebeard, Garp, whatever order you want to put it. I really don't care, but that's the 3, right? So you take Whitebeard and you see the fall off he had, but you got to remember that Whitebeard also had the illness that was fucking up his strength as well. Like, Whitebeard could do certain things, but then he gets stressed because of the heart, like his whole disease or whatever. And we see that in Marineford when he's trying to do stuff, he gets taxed out because of the whole illness thing. But Garp doesn't have that. So whatever strength I saw Whitebeard at, that's kind of where I put Garp at, minus the illness. And we see Whitebeard and Garp. We see Whitebeard and Akinu when they go blow for blow. Before any heart attack Whitebeard had, they were honestly around the same strength. Like, obviously you have to take into mind that Akinu didn't use Awakening because he wasn't trying to destroy Marineford, so that obviously takes into account stuff. And I honestly do think, this is a long time coming, but I do think that Akinu with Awakening is stronger than Whitebeard without his heart illness and stuff like that. But Akinu obviously couldn't do it, or he didn't want to use Awakening in that area. So that's why I have Garp around the same level as Akinu relative. Where I think, like, if Garp and Akinu fought, Akinu might win just because he's in the best shape of his life. Like, I think in One Piece, your 30s to your 50s is like your prime. So Garp might be able to keep up with Akinu's raw power, but after a while, I think Garp's fall off will start happening a little, relatively quickly. But you have to take into account that Garp is not, like, he doesn't have an illness. He doesn't have any of the things that Whitebeard was struggling with, except for old age. And honestly, this is a hot take, maybe a little bit of a hot take. I don't think that age plays into a factor as much as people, make it seem in the One Piece world. Because when you look at characters in the One Piece world, it's not always age. Like, obviously the characters that are, like, I'm not gonna say washed, but are not as strong as they used to be, are old. But you also have to take into account that it's not just that. That's not just the only reason. Like, for instance, Rayleigh. Yeah, Rayleigh is old, but he also said himself, like, he hadn't touched his sword since Roger died. That's 22 years. Like, you make anyone in the verse not fight for 22 years, they're not going to look the same. And then you add on the old age. I think the old age kind of plays into why it's so much worse. And then you look at Whitebeard as well, where Whitebeard, he has the illness, and then the old age probably makes the illness worse, which is why Whitebeard's so much more washed than he should be. But Garp doesn't have those issues. He, for the most part, from what we understand, Garp did not take such a huge break between fighting. Like, he was still doing stuff. He was still, he's a chill guy. He's not really worked out like that, but he's still in the whole Marine type thing. He's still probably fighting characters at some point in time, and he also is not sick. So to me, I have Garp like above the Whitebeard we saw in Marineford, which is why I feel like Garp and Akinu was a real fight. But people don't understand that the Garp that Akinu was ready to fight was not fully health Akinu. It was Akainu. The pronunciation be throwing me off, but yeah. People need to understand that the Garp that Akinu was gonna fight is not Akinu at full strength. This is like Akinu after his fight with Whitebeard. Like, this nigga's rib cage is probably dust right now. Like, you've seen a scene where Whitebeard throws him up and hits him in the side. Yeah, that was after that moment. Like, Akinu really doesn't take any more damage from that point on until Marineford's over, because right then and there, basically, actually, no, I'm tripping actually, because I think Whitebeard appears before Akinu starts fighting him. But the point is that Akinu that killed Ace was not at 100%, and I think Garp could have taken advantage of that. Like, a Garp and Akinu fight, just for the sheer fact that Akinu is not at full strength, I think Garp can low-key take that. So that's kind of where I have it. Like, Garp can contend with any of the admirals, which we've seen. Like, we saw Whitebeard contend with the admirals. Now, people might think that's not true, but we saw Whitebeard pre-heart attack was hanging with admirals. We saw that. At least without Awakening, which Akinu wouldn't do in Marineford. So we saw that. Then we saw Kizaru and Rayleigh go at it, even though Rayleigh was kind of like rusty for 20 or so years, right? And regardless of whoever you think will win, that doesn't really matter. Like, they were relative in their battle. So you take Garp, who's not injured. Garp had no damage. I mean, Garp had a jet pistol to the face, but, like, it's a Luffy. Like, he ate that shit. I mean, he didn't really eat that shit, but, like, yeah, you can kind of infer what I'm trying to say. I feel like Garp would have beat Akiyuno. That's what that's my like overall take with that. But I do think that Garp is around the level of an Admiral, at least relativity wise. Like, he might not be able to beat them because they probably have their stamina is probably insane, their endurance and stuff. But I think that Garp in a fight, like, it's really, to me, it's really a wash in that fight. Like, I feel like it'll be a similar thing with the Luffy Cat fight, where like any little small advantage can like turn the tide of the fight. Like when Luffy got hit by Flampei's little attack. Like that, I mean, even though Luffy was getting his ass beat, we're not gonna lie, but the fight was so close that so chopless could affect the fight that much. And where if Cat didn't stab himself, if Cat didn't stab himself, you know, to be honorable or whatever, Luffy would have died very easily. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where I have Garp in terms of strength. But I know people think he's like weaker and stuff. And I've even heard like the conversation of people saying like, where does Luffy stack up against like Garp and Sengoku? Because Luffy's becoming low-key a legend. Like, we're not gonna cap. We know Luffy, what he's doing. Obviously manga spoilers. If you are, you know, if you're not reading the manga, just like in the manga, Luffy's fighting Kaido in base. And yes, a lot of damage has been happening to Kaido and stuff, but Luffy's still very, very impressive. And I think at this point in time, Luffy is approaching admirals, like admiral level characters type thing. Like, I don't think that any admiral would lose to Luffy currently, but I think that like admirals can't push Luffy away no more. Like admirals might get pressed out by Luffy if they're not careful type thing. But I think they would all probably beat Luffy at this current time. Basically, that bears the question of, can Luffy beat Garp and Sengoku? Two old heads who were like, I want to say who, in my opinion, are relative to admirals, but some people don't believe that. So like, how strong are they? Or even Rayleigh. Rayleigh's another guy who's like, okay, how strong is Luffy compared to these guys? And obviously, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Garp is the main character of this video. Like, the thing is, when I first heard this question, Luffy was a lot weaker in my opinion. I think people brought up this question when Luffy first used Advanced Conquerors, and as we can probably tell, I think Luffy's probably a tier or half a tier stronger than he was when he first awakened Advanced Conquerors. For whatever reason, I don't really know, Luffy be eating and getting stronger. That's how the series be sometimes, you know. I can't really speak too much on it. But I want to say Luffy might get the dub on Garp, like low-key. Only because Luffy is a stamina or endurance like monster. Like when we're talking about taking a punch and getting back up, there's not many characters in the verse that have shown to be better at it than Luffy. If you know, the people that we're talking about are like admirals and yonkos. Besides that, there's not many niggas that can take hits as hard as Luffy and get back up. And I think Garp's attack power is probably still more than Luffy's, because like I feel like if you put Garp in this current situation with Kaido, I think Garp might put Kaido in the dirt low-key. Like, we're not going to speak on it. Low-key, just attack power-wise. And Luffy has failed to do that. Even the Kaido is injured as he is now. Like, basically, I'm talking about if you replace Luffy right now with a Garp right now, I feel like Garp could low-key have put, you know, this Kaido in the dirt. But, you know, obviously that's probably a little contentious or whatever. But you got to imagine that Garp dishes stuff out, but he's got to be able to take damage as well. And I don't think Garp can take as much damage as Luffy. So again, I think Luffy's at the stage right now where like he's under Admiral, and that's kind of where I have Garp in a similar sense, where Garp's relative to the Admirals, but in a 1v1 against most of the Admirals, he's going to lose because of his stamina. It's a similar thing where I think Garp's attack power or his AP is on the tier of all the top tiers. Kind of similar to how Whitebeard was. Like, if you take a couple punches from Garp, even people like Shanks or Kaido or Big Mom, whoever, Big Mom, if she take a couple punches from Garp, she not going to be getting up. She not going to be chilling. Like, no one's just going to take like 10 punches from Garp with, I don't know if he has Conquerors. I'm assuming maybe he does. I don't know. If you know, Advanced Conquerors or Ryo Garp punches, no one's gonna take 10 of them hoes and just be like, you know, that's it. Like no one's gonna be chilling off that. So that's how powerful I think Garp is overall in the series. But let me know how powerful you think Garp is, because I think a lot of people have him. I wouldn't say anyone has him as low as like first commander. That's kind of slanderous. I don't think anyone has him that low. But maybe Cat fans, because I'm gonna talk about y'all Cat fans, because this Cat praise has gone a little too crazy. But I feel like besides that, most people have him like, I feel like the range for Garp is like below Admirals to some people, maybe some crazy people think Garp could be Akiyuno currently. That would be kind of nutty. That's just not true, I think. But that's how powerful I think old man Garp is currently, though. Let me know how powerful you think he is as well in the comments down below. But I'm out, so peace.